G'day. This is the very first poem that I had ever penned down in my life. Not having too many literal skills, I managed to pen this down because it came straight from the head, straight from the heart, and it was about a Vietnam veteran that I'd met and under strange circumstances, and the poor man was dying from Agent Orange. He was in Townsville. It was in 1992, and I went home and I wrote down this poem just after meeting him and spending about 5 hours with him. And the stories he told me changed my life and started my poetry off. I went around there within a couple of days to show him and recite the poem back to him to see what he thought. He'd already passed away, like so many of his mates in Townsville, 1st Royal Australian Regiment, 1 RAR, first to go, first to deploy, usually last to come back. And when I say this and recite this poem, I'd like to all of you have a little thought for the 4,500 troops from 1 Royal Australian Regiment Townsville and 1 SAS, Special Air Service Townsville, that are now currently deployed frontline defence in Syria and have been there for 8 years. They're coming back in dribs and drabs. Ward 17, Austin Repat Hospital. If you want to find them, parts of them are there. Parts of them are still in Syria. And some parts will never return. Sentenced heroes. I met a bloke just the other day. Well, strangely how it happened. Kind of meant to be, you'd say. His voice was rough and kind of gruff, soft but to the point. And listening, I sunk deep in thought. It's another life's lessons being taught. Well, he spoke of young men 19 or so, back a couple of decades ago, and the vision he passed was men in khaki, who were dressed for the part. They were young and naive. Then his deep blue eyes reflected pain from the past, and looking in, I could see a hurtful heart. As I slowly covered with the glazed mist, he said, "Hey, son, listen to this. By conscript or will we made it there, a foreign place with a filthy air, and we could see an orange dust in the atmosphere. But how do we know that cancer was near? And they told us to fight a battle for them, and we vowed to die before we gave in. And the training for the young, was it the best? Were they really prepared for their final test? Well, you ask about True Blue, and is he knocking around with you? Well, sad story for me and me mates. I reckon Blue left when the gangway touched home plate. Our homecoming crowd fulfilled with a cowardly hate. Now I wonder if all them out there really think that this was fair. And did we do the same for the first light horse? Infantry, Navy, or Air Force? And is this the respect my country gives to a man who was ordered to morally sin? And does the youth of today now look at how they long forgot to pat our back? Or we've sung of a walk in the light green and a song to find where True Blue has been. It's many a year since I've been back, and they haven't lightened my heavy sack. Geez, first day home, back under attack. Sure wasn't a good buzz being back. I've got a killer rash, but they just don't care, because a few more years and I won't be here. Compo, too big a bill to pay. Perhaps when we thin, they'll find a way. Then the memories echoed of me dad's words clear, as he explained about the land and how we got here, what an Aussie is and what we stood for, the pie and the roo and the Holden four-door. He said, "'Twas the Great Wars that put us on the maps, how our diggers fought the Germans, Turks and Japs, and our mounted men, ranks of sheer force. Oh, how the enemy feared the first light horse. And allies and enemies gave respect to our blokes for their courage and fight and the odd Aussie jokes." Well, I looked up at him and hard I tried to keep my tears deep inside. And I shook his hand, a firm grip shake, confirming I knew the people's mistake. I said, "I see all you blokes as a dying breed. last of the staunch Aussie seed. And our youth of today must see how we honour our best, treating them with the highest respect. For braver men in jobs I've never seen, to lay down your life and surrender your dreams. You left family and loved ones behind for support, like a primeval warrior, women guarding the fort. For they weren't just heroes in a modern war, they're heroes now and forevermore. With women not knowing quite what they want, a man not knowing quite where they are, ah, how sad to see equality. It's all just gone too far. Feel proud, all you who fought in all wars, for your love in your land and respect for fellow man. You led by example, like your forefathers grand. And to award such warriors brave and strong, erect a large monument, dedicate a song, explain to our youth that man's sometimes wrong, hoping never to repeat just what went on. See, modern idea now has it that a war is not a fight, with women in our front line defence and gay men marching in moonlight. Oh, yes, my mate, he did reply, as a single tear fell from his eye. To fight a battle with an insane caste, would this modern breed really last? In my day, trenches were lined with real men. It was back to back. That's how we fought then. And could they stand their ground in a deafening blast? Or would it break them to see their lover stretchered past? My only reply was, if I could do something, I'd surely try. But it's to you I hold my head high. And we should all feel proud to shake the hand of a war-torn man. And one of the toughest of our Aussie breeds yet, God, lest we forget the Vietnam vet. Thank you. That is dedicated to all the Vietnam veterans, all serving members and veterans